Now, Afrobeat has taken over the world by storm. All right, from Burna Boy playing at the biggest stadiums in the world to Wizkid winning Grammy to Thames featuring some of the biggest artists to Davido performing at the biggest stadia in New York.
Hey darlings, welcome once again to Vibes with the Ambassador, Oshe Baddest. It's your one and only Victoria Chinyere, aka Vibe with the Ambassador. And guys, we are back again with another one, guys. I stumbled on some videos that really caught my interest, and the first of it are how the whites, yes, the British, actually do reckon and embrace the Ghanaian culture to the point that I saw them, conducting a wedding with Ghanaian attire and everything in between was really fascinating. That caught my interest, and I was like, no, let me share. Video credit to my brother Justice Media, who did justice to that as usual. And as well, I stumbled on a video of a Nigerian. Yes, one controversial topic that he did raise, even though I'm not into music, especially the secular music or Afrobeat high life. But one thing I always know and will stand to represent is that the history of the high life music actually did originate from Ghana, right? And he put out some points and suggestions of how Ghanaians can thrive and all whatnot. So I will be so objective in this video because I don't know much and I can't say much. So bringing it out here is for us to listen, pay attention to details. And at the end, let me get your thoughts because as Ghanaians, especially the music inclined, I really expect to hear from you or a Ghanaian who is inclined and know more about music. Let's talk. Let's have this conversation in the comments. So watch this video to the end. Do not forget to give it a huge and a massive thumbs up. Share this video for more people like you to see. And at the end, I will come back to react further.
Abusia abrofri a omo eba Ghana hase no mu ya nhwe ya omo de asembeba o obroni ya yehu no ya ogina ho no mu a ayese microphone ekuta ne nsem ewo eyasi abusia eye ensa bode ana ogina ayi na se a o kire ewo ho no na o kire ensa bode ewo Ghana ye local language ni mu bi ye bebo rem na ye tie na ya hwe no kwan ahodo a o fa so e kire ensa bode no na in fact e fa baby no esle e fa baby nso no enika and also take okoda abrofo bi no ye omugina ho na mo bonso yehu wo mu oba ba ku ibema ba ku ya omo address African way ye Ghana ye traditional way ana omo egina ho no na omo abetena Ghana hase no mo achi pa ebredu say o say afanu emi no omo ewale na busia omo ye omo adwese nyade omo be ware ewo omo krom amamre ekwan so omo pese ni nyina no omo fa Ghana amamre ekwan so na omo de ware Edusha Ghana, eye entalia ehye wo mokran eye Ghana ye traditional way ana wo ede aye wo ho a wo de gina asori dem ho no nebusia kasa ablofo mienu ema osofo no ekwan ese onka emfe hira omaware so nyina ye Ghana the local language no mu bi ye bebo rem na hwe ablofo yi no mu bi ensem kwa ahodo a wo ba Ghana hase no mu a aya ebi mu eyi wo Ghana ha ye mbomrem na ye hwe ni so ade ba komienu bi emra sisia
Our Jesus Christ. Dynamo. The door. 3. Makume. Marginal. Never home. Eddie. And Kawaii. And the show. X-ray. Medo. The war. And the mom. Our nature. Nyamioba. Any Yamion comprend anymore. Any Yami. Home. Control. Dynamo. Amen.
Nananom, the Panin 4, Eduana Abusia Panin, Nanadoti, Canada. Abusia Atiatomani, Upre. As a phone, a jump for Yashamo. I don't know. Any dear from Messamo Kataka. I'm not phone, what's my video? What's me idea? Sir, Philip Montesi, Daniel Ajambo, Nana Chedubo. Or the Alpha Meso, the Reman say, opening a jump. Acquire from a Yeme, Ora, Kazuki, Mitsushima. Me free Japan abroad Jeremiah na America say. Odo man como ato me say before ama mama nebo asa ejapa mene odi nkrawo ebo bosome after September 2018 na eyeme ne onton bosete men kobo bra meso abesuano asene eye no kre mfia nsianie kwajedu mabo meho modembe nanka menimse mereba abeto anije ne ahodemu nanso odoman koma wo amadie wa bure anya no enni ama bilichire abome ebenala ewia kete papa enkomo a mene odi ye no ensina ojame akwantifi nanka ewon sheshe mse efrasie bronya no one mene mabesu ya bedi wo Okayama Japan papa atena waka nchimeko brea eduane siso ano kwa sense wama nsupo ashinime na metabono nso aka asoja nso mea menim nso jare meye die metra eja debi na meka masem eda meba Filipia meko owo miye a champon na so akogurusa papa ode adesredie mie no to manim enka ebe anije die se ene dai otease de wasote atempei nanso minim se edanti mese saman waso adesredie no oche duapo adaworoma watie won kontosre ama awie beye ejaba sedie epanimfo se no fe oba chire ajaye a na enye boabayo na emom na hosiesie ntiara papa saman orekoe oni mefiesem ninanti mesese okwa semenua oba ega nyako abronoma saman se omane yen aware chechere onso ejana omma yen nkwane ahojen damirifa jue eja chale papa nantiye ochenjuapon enfa onseye o adene ajuasa opani aik achampon yemano damirifa jue
abusua hwe se yehu eneme bi se ya aya na yemu bi no ehu ni se eye agrubi ana edie ana se ho ana etewo a nimdie eye David abusua eye eni present pa ana edie no matemase na yenuane ahodo bebre na ahofui abrofo titiriu ba Ghana ha se no ba besua di besua ne ye yasa eye cultural dance ba Ghana ha se no besua ni na abusua de ko maimu ene ko jisika eduane dodo na ebinom ba ha enso ebesua ne ye no kra no ebinom de akọ maimu akobie Ghana local food restaurant ewo maimu abusua ankasa ana eye enuane ahodo na ede ma Ghana fo binom a wo akwantu na abusua videos no doso bebre enuane ahodo ebi ma besua wo ha na ye wo fie mu edi ebi mu nso abesua ede akọ maimu a ankasa nya botre ebi hon restaurant a eye de ma Ghana fo a omo ma mo di sika di go mpoto na busa mesre ye mbo ye ni akoma ba kunya no bi ehwe se de abrofo ake omo si edika na nuame sounds eye Ghana nu.
Most especially people from my country might not like it, but I'm talking about Afrobeat. Look, listen to what this man said. And when you
just to give you one small example, the difference between Nigeria and Ghana is that in Ghana, you cannot make money from playing music in public. There's a customing amongst Ghanaians of not paying their musicians any substantial wage. Nigeria is different. A Nigerian artist can actually make money from playing in public. And they can make, just to give you the proof of what I'm saying, can you think of a single millionaire Ghanaian musician? Maybe this generation coming up now is different, but if you take my generation, there's not a single millionaire musician. Even Nana Ampedu, Akuku Seku, all the Ikenyami, he died living in somebody's hallway. I mean, go to Nigeria, you have millionaire musicians. Fella's just one of them. There were so many. Ebenezer Obey, Sunny Ade, I mean, you name it, Victor Owaifu. They were so rich that they could form their own hotels, their clubs. Bobby Benson. We never had this in Ghana. We never had a club or a recording studio up until maybe the 80s or 90s that was built by a Ghanaian who had made money in his own country from music.
I'm talking about Afrobeat. How that sound came from Ghana and how Ghana can take it back. You've lost your place in it. It started from Ghana, okay? And I'm going to give you points of, if you guys apply it, you take it over in 5-10 years, okay? Now, Afrobeat has taken over the world by storm, all right? From Burna Boy playing at the biggest stadiums in the world to Wizkid winning Grammy to Thames featuring some of the biggest artists to Davido performing at the biggest stadia in New York, okay? But don't forget, before this, and the other ones behind them, you have the Ashakes, we're not even talking about them, the Kiss Daniels, the Pato Rankin, these are all Ira Stars, so many of them, CK, you know, Olamide, we're not even mentioning these guys. And how did Nigeria get to this place? How did it feel like all of a sudden it's no more Ghana, that they are the original landlords of Afrobeats? I'll go back to the history, okay? About 50, 60, 70 years ago, in Ghana, a group of artists were playing with the African instruments, and they were adding African rhythm and Western instruments. You had people like E.T. Mensah, what was the name of this track my father used to play? King Bruce, you know, Jerry Hansen, Nana Mpudu. You just so many of these guys, okay, Ghanaians. They were so big that Ghana was a pilgrimage for African artists to go and understand how they were playing jazz with an African rhythm, and a lot of people went there, you know, including lots of Nigerians. And when they went, and I could remember this for some time, Fela Anikulapo Kuti, Fela, the great Fela, rest in peace, lived in Ghana for some years, you know, and that's where he got his, when he formed with the Zikula Lobito or one group that Fela had, and he came back to Nigeria. But something happened, according to that documentary, that they noticed after years, they noticed that the Ghanaian guys were not well paid, they were broke, they weren't taking care of them. And that's what I'm talking about, appreciation. Some of those skills, you guys are still doing it now. You need to encourage your artists. It's not, the gift is supposed to be used to feed their family, take care of themselves, and support those around them, be a contribution to the community. I'm glad Ghanaians are picking up now, but you can do more. Radio station, if you haven't show, don't ask them to play for free. Nigerians, you pay, even the reverend, even the gospel artists, they pay. You know, don't ask for free music. When you call them for concert, pay them. Don't ask for free ticket to shows. You encourage them. That's the work of their hands. So it's like you working at the end of the month, and at the end of the month, your employer doesn't pay you. So that's part of the thing. But I'm going to give, apart from that, I'm going to talk about how Afrobeat evolved, okay? And how Nigerians were able to take it from what Ghana had, and we did it, just like the Jollof War. For some extent, I know that for some reason I've eaten Ghanaian Jollof, even Senegalese. I just feel like the Ghanaian content in the Jollof was a bit solid, more natural, you know? Okay, I'm going to list three things that Nigerians did that were about the Afro-pop, and I'm going to suggest about 3 or 4 things that Ghanaians too can do on how they can go back to being number one. Because you have the talent, you have the people, you have the culture, and Ghanaian naturality. I keep saying that ingredient. Nigerians are beginning to water it down, becoming too westernized. You have that advantage of it, okay? Now, for the first thing that worked for Nigeria, I will say it, population, okay? Nigeria has over 20 million people. And I'm going to say how Ghanaians can take advantage of Nigerians' population as well. Okay? Nigeria has about 20 million, 200 million people. And with that 200 million, that gives them a big market for people that will consume their stuff, bigger audience, bigger market to buy, more global push. And not that alone, you know, and it's a big mass to pick from. But guess what? Jamaica is not even as big as Accra, the population. At one time, they dominated for more than 10 years of the international music scene. So, population, let's put it aside. Yes, Nigeria has that. That is one. Number 2 is aggressive industrial push. That's what I need from Ghanaians. Okay, I'll give you how Nigerians can do, and I'll tell you what you do. Aggressive. Nigerians have invested heavily in the entertainment industry. Okay, for a global push from the Rick Ross, Drake, name any international artists, they performed with Nigerians. All right. As of 12, 15 years ago, I can still remember P Square. I remember they did a song on here, yeah, and they featured Rick Ross. Beautiful song. As of then, they paid close, is it 50 or 70 or $100,000? Then people doubted, but guess what? They recouped their money back, so it was worth it. So I'm telling her then the band, Mr. Endowed. So when the band went to do Peace Fair, went to do the other guys, Two-Face went to bring in Two-Face went to do with Reggie Rockstone and Beanie Man. Remember then? So the competition is healthy. Okay, they create. They were not competing, right? It was a healthy competition. Ghanaians have to learn that to do that. Okay. Now you've said doing, but these guys did this thing more than 15, 18 years ago. Okay, they paid lots of money, but guess what? What did he do? He helps the rich. For example, if Ghana has 35 million population and Nigeria has 200 and something million population, and among that population you have someone like Asake, maybe he has fan of 20 million, and your guy, maybe King Promise, does a collabo with Asake. King Promise fans. King Promise fans will become Asake's fans. That's how it works. And that was what they did. And it gives you outreach. Like for now, we hear a lot of Black Sheriff song. Black Sheriff is in Nigeria. Sarkodie was massive. Gaiki is huge. Shatawale is huge. Stone Boy is big, but we need more from him. So that's part of it. Okay? An aggressive collaboration. Remember back in the days, he did with P Square. I think he did with some other Nigerian guys. They started reaching out. So Ghanaian artists, you have to take a step back and say, okay, because music is not just passion, it's a business. Let's first understand that. You as a musician have to understand that. And your fans have to understand that. And your radio stations have to understand that. Your show promoters have to understand that. By encouraging you, paying you what you're worth. If you look at it, there are no much shows in Nigeria anymore because a lot of people cannot afford the artists. They price themselves out of market though. But people still come together and do shows and support this. 3. And media power. You see, Nigeria have an extraordinary media machine. Okay, the influencers, the radio stations, and the TV stations, they work together, even if they are beefing. But something I noticed about the Ghanaian things, I see them online, they beef a lot with the artists. So if Shatalwali says something about a radio station, they don't invite him anymore. And somehow, there's a reason they tell their colleagues not to bring them. It is not good. I'm talking about radio station. There's something I have to say. And I'm saying with all due respect, Ghanaians, and this for Kenyans, if any Kenyan is watching this, if you want to compete, you can't kill your competitor you cannot win by killing your competitor. You create, okay? Why am I saying it? Many years ago, and you remember, Ghanaians went to radio station and told them they should stop playing Nigerian music, that their people are not giving them audience. You cannot win that way. If you stop it, that means you're giving them, what you do, you step up your quality and compete, okay? Why am I saying this? Many years ago, about 20 years, there's a guy called Idris Abdul Karim. 50 Cent came to Nigeria to perform, and he noticed they were giving Nigerians poor Nigerian celebrities. Nigerians have poor treatment, and he protested. Guess what happened? All Nigerians queued behind him, apart from just a few. We supported him. We value our musicians. We won't let them to be trampled upon. And 50 Cent had a beef, massive was beef then. So, and guess now, when we go to party on the club, we ask them to remove the American artists, play our own. We dance to it. We don't go and tell them not to play. And not once in the 80s and 90s, American songs, Jamaican songs were dominating our airwaves. Not once did Nigerians say, stop playing American songs, stop playing Jamaican songs. What did Nigerians do? They took the American song, and they created their own template. They studied it. We created our Pato ranking. We created our own P Square version. We took their beats. They noticed that people love to dance. We're like, that okay, music has changed. That's what you have to do. You cannot tell radio stations and start demonstrating. That is very childish. That is non-progressive. You can't do well that. You compete. It's like you're going after a girl, and you've known the girl before me. But for some reasons, the girl likes me. Why? I'm treating her well. I spend a bit of change on her. I tell her things she wants to hear. But you assume because you've known her before me that she should go with you. That is wrong. That's poor judgment. If you have a daughter, you want her to go to who treats her right, who makes her feel good. That is how the music thing. So the musicians, the radio stations, you have to come together. You can't say you're banning somebody's song. Kenyans did it too, trying to stop Nigerian music. You can't do it. Nigeria has never come. When have you seen even, it's like in UK now, or Americans trying to stop Nigerian music. Music has a circle. The time will come that we may screw up and another person locks in. If you look around, Tanzanians are coming up very strong. The Amapiano people are there too. They have their own season. So that's just basically you have to have your own aggressive push. Okay. The truth is that Ghana can actually take over the music space, okay? Because at the core of it, I noticed that Ghanaians sing with more passion. When I listen to a guy called Gaiki, some of those guys, there's a rawness that comes from them that I can't get in Nigeria. Fine, we have the commercialization, we have the westernization, but there's an originality. And those of you, I don't know if many of you can understand. So Ghanaians have to look at that strategy of the originality. That's something you have that Nigerians do not have. Now I'm going to give 4 points of how Ghanaians can, in the next 4 or 5 years, 5 to 6 years to 10 years, can take over the business and go back to the number one that they were. And the number one is ownership. Okay? Ghana must reestablish the narrative that they started hip life. And how do we do it? Having concert, talk about their past guys, go back to their high life. Don't try to sing like Nigerians. Be your own self. Just be in your lane. With time, you do. Okay? Number 2 is more global collaborations. We need to see Ghanaians with global collaboration. And how do I mean? Start with Nigeria. How many Ghanaians even come to Nigeria to collaborate? Collaborate with Kiss Daniel. Even if you cannot go to Burna Boy, Davido, King Promise, big up. Why do you think it's big in Nigeria? Start with Nigeria. Start with the guys in Tanzania. Start with that, then you go into the Western countries. Okay? Big up to Shatawale. So you collaborate with with Ed Sheeran, with the UK. That's the first way to reach out, because you're adding their fan base to yours. Okay? You must collaborate. All right? With people, you feature them. Their fans get to know you. Rema was big. Rema was very big, but he featured, what was this girl's name? Ariana Grande or something like that. And the song, go and check. And the girl said that's the highest number of views she has gotten on YouTube. So Ghanaian artists must collaborate. The record labels have to encourage them. No man is an island. And when they do that, you'll be amazed of what they can do. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3 is invest in industry infrastructure. There are in Nigeria, December's different times of the month. I don't want to call the telecoms companies. They invest. The show promoters hold these guys to task. If it's the government to write, if it's for government to write it as software, have events, massive events around the country. And when you do it, put it online, let the world know. You must do that. You must. For example, Lagos State government is highly invested in entertainment. Why can't Accra do it? Why can't the city of Tema do it? Seriously invested. They spent billions to encourage. Sometimes you think it's a waste. They say, some people say that's not a priority. But do you know how much entertainment has brought in? You know how much tax some of these musicians pay to the government? You saw recently a YouTuber was given to pay 38 million. That's his tax. If he's paying 38 million in tax, how much do you think he's generating for himself? So government collaborates with them, have seminars with the artists, how they can put. And the final one, I say it, is you must unite. Okay? There's something I noticed. There seems to be kind of weird beef a lot of times. Now, artists have ego, even in Nigeria. But, they beat the radio station, they beat the journalists. There's so much drama. So can you imagine if King Promise, Reggie Rostone, Sarkodie, Black Sheriff, Gaiki, Kiddy, all these guys come together and create a force, a movement. And a promoter brings them together to have, imagine Ghana invasion in Lagos. People will go and attend. Ghana invasion in Nairobi. You're creating awareness for yourself. And I'm going to see Sarkodie perform. Ghana invasion in London. A group of Ghanaians. That is what basically happens. A lot of these shows that you see, fine, apart from now, Jay-Z and the rest have gotten involved in promoting Afrobeat. But it used to be promoted by Nigerians abroad. They come together and bring in Ghanaian artists to come and perform in Canada. Massive music festival every summer and certain times of the year. Massive music festival in London, Ghanaian artists. Now, a lot of the Nigerians will attend. You bring your top guys, introduce your... And the bonus point, please. Please, the established artists to sign in their younger artists coming up. Ghanaian artists have to try and do more of that. You're doing it, but it's not enough. Okay? Asake came through Olamide. Fireboy DML came through Olamide. Kiss Daniel came through... that's a record label. So you have to do that. Mayokun came through Davido. So the big artists, who have you handed the torch to or carried along? We grow by lifting others. So Ghanaian artists must lift up, reach out and lift up other people. That is how you grow. So in conclusion, what I'm just trying to say is that if Ghanaians can apply some of these 3 steps I talked about, they must own the narrative, believe that this is ours, retell our own stories aggressively. 1, 2, more global corporations. Reach out to Nigerian artists. If you can't get Burna Boy, try CK. If you can't get CK, go for Olamide. If you can't get Olamide, look for Asake. If you can't get Asake, look for Resta. There are so many other ones. Look for Malay. So it's not let's not use this as a thing of population. No. It's a combined effort. When one person pushes alone, it's not as strong as when a group of people push together. You're able to move the mountain. So that is it. I hope.
All right. Based on what this guy has said, when I looked down in the comments, I was like, Nigerians at the end of the day will not like the fact that he mentioned that, high life actually originated from Ghana. They didn't like it. And he said quite a mouthful, like I said. And at the end of the day, guys, I don't know who are the musicians, the music, fans, fanatics in the house, and those who really understand. I need your input in the comment section because I came here to learn. I want to understand. We don't know it all. So take it today that I'm your student and you're teaching me, because this topic is quite interesting, yes, to me. And I want to learn more. So feel free to agree with what he said or disagree. And for the other video we have watched, I really do find this very interesting, how these people embrace the Ghanaian culture. This tells a lot about what Ghana culture represents. And Ghana is an emblem of culture, tourism and tradition, everything that is African related, yes, and oriented is what Ghana stands to represent. And I'm glad and happy that there are people like this that identify truly, emphasis on truly, with the Ghanaian culture. From down to Ashanti and other regions of Ghana, tribes, regions, culture, tradition, are these and more that Ghana is all about. Everywhere you go, anywhere they go, exactly. So guys, we've seen and we've heard. What are your thoughts? Like I said, and if you watched up to now, I want to say a massive thank you. But please do not forget as well to give this video a huge and a massive thumbs up as usual. I don't want to do too much of the talking because I've been talking from my other channels. Now I want you to teach me. What do you think? Let's talk in the comments. And with that, I would say this brings us to the end of this episode. Keeping it real, happy, safe, and blessed. I'll see you in my next one. Ciao, ciao.